Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to be showing you guys how to do an axle flip on your Bumpside, Dentside. This works on many different vehicles, but today we're doing it on a 78 F100. Pretty simple process. You're going to be needing, they got some, they have these perch relocators right here that come with the kit. You're going to need, we got the side of the frame notch right here. Pretty simple to install. I'll show you guys how to do that. So this kit did not come with new U-bolts. I had these left over from an old job. We're going to reuse these. The stock ones may be long enough, but I don't think so. So we got these just in case. I'm not sure where this guy got this kit from. I've used this kit before from X2 Industries. Pretty good kit, but you can Google, you can look on eBay. They make all kinds of these kits, different companies, all the same thing. So we've got our notches there. We've got our perches. We've got some, these are different plates for your U-bolts. We'll probably just use these right here. They're the exact same. And we've got a bag of nuts. All right, so that's all the stuff that we got. Let's get some tools together and I'm gonna show you guys how to change this thing out. All right, let's get this little measurement. I'm curious how much this is gonna drop our rear end. So the bottom of the bumper, you can see this bumper's kind of janky, but to the bottom of it right now is 20.5 inches. Okay, so we'll see where we're at whenever we get done doing this. See how much of a drop that gave us. All right, so one of the first things you're gonna wanna do is disconnect your brakes. This is a 3/8 right here. We're gonna take that off, and then you can see right there's a little tab right there. Put yourself a flathead on that and hit it with a hammer and knock that little pin out, and then you can pull this thing out and our brakes will be unhooked. Okay, you're going to put a 5/8 on this side to hold that side. Now sometimes this one right here, keep an eye on it, it'll kind of glue itself to this brake line and you won't notice it, but you'll be twisting this and it'll twist the damn brake line and it'll break it in half or pinch it. So if it does do that, what I like to do is just kind of work it back and forth just a little, and spray some lube on it, back and forth, and it'll finally break free. And when you got it free, you're good to go. Twist that son of a gun out of there. Let's get this clip out. See your little clip looks like that. Just put it to the side and then you can pull that brake line through like that. Now we're free. Okay, next step is going to be taking off this shock. I don't think you have to take it all the way off, but we're going to take off this top nut on both sides. That way it'll drop down. And then the plan is going to be to loosen up this front leaf spring right here. Not loosen up, we're going to take that bolt out so that drops down. And then now that we've got the brakes unhooked and we take off those shocks, we should be able to, after we take out that bolt, roll this out and then roll it over and bring it back. We will also have to, I forgot the U-bolts right there we got to take out, but I'm just giving you an idea of what we got to do. Alrighty, we got those shocks unhooked. So now we're going to go ahead and take these U-bolts off. This is a 7/8, so let's go ahead and zip them off. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and take this whole shock out of the way, get it out of my way. It is a, let's see what size is that. It's a 3/4. 3/4. All right, guys, we got those shocks out of the way, and in my opinion, much easier. Got a lot more room to get in there and work. There was only one bolt on each side that holds that in. Let's get these tools out of the way. But it gives us a lot more room. And when we start rolling that thing around, it's not gonna get bonded up on anything. So, man, we're getting pretty close now. We're down to, we just need to pull this bolt out right here on the front of both sides and let that drop down. And then from there, we should be able to roll. Our rear end is free right now. It's kind of got the weight setting on it, and this alignment pin on the other side is on that perch. Just like, see here, this one has an alignment hole. So that's why it's not rolling in or out. If we were to raise it up on the lift right now, this rear end would be free. But let's go ahead and get these bolts out in the front on both sides and try to drop that down and we'll move on from there. Okay, to take these off, it is a 7/8. I'm gonna put the 7/8 on there, get it on out. I got that on the wrong side. Alright guys, now this thing should be free. So I'm going to get the lift set up and raise it up to get the pressure off of it. And this arm should drop and our rear end should roll on out of the way. All right, we got it raised up a little bit. You can see we've got this hanger off and this is free. You can pick it up. The rear end is rolling around now. See there? So we want to roll this thing. Now, I'm going to roll this rear end up to the front. We're going to have to put some jack stands or something in the back because we're going to end up hitting our lift arms. We need to get those out of the way. Okay, we might get lucky and not have to move our lift arms right there, but it looks like we're getting hung up on our exhaust over here. Boom, there we go. Now it's free. Okay, got this side. That one's getting caught up on our brake line over here. Make sure all that junk is clear. Boom. All right. Now, you guys see what we got going on? Now the leaf springs have dropped down and we can roll this rear end right back over them like that. And that is going to be our axle flip. Our rear end is now on top of the leaf springs. So that's what these perches are for. Let me bring you in and show you what we're going to do with these. Okay, some people don't weld these in, but I like to weld them in. Okay, see these little arms on there? They're going to slide on this and they're supposed to lock in place with where that rear end went so your pinion angle is right. And you can just bolt it down real tight with your U-bolts, but I like to weld this in, so we're going to grind that off and clean it up a little bit and weld that in. Also, you see there's an offset hole right here? Okay, that hole is going to go towards the front of the truck right there. It's going to go like that, but we have to take this bolt off because the pin is on the other side and we need that round side. So we're going to have to put some lube on that, get that bolt out and swap it around to the other side and tighten it back down. That way our alignment pin will set in that like it's supposed to. All right, now sometimes this pin can be an a-hole to get out. So make sure you put some PB Blaster on there. On the bottom side, it's not like a hex or anything. You just have to put it's round. You have to put some vice grips on there and just clench the hell out of it. Also, I'll put a couple C-clamps right there beside it so this thing doesn't move or, you know, bust apart or anything. So as soon as we take out that pin, we can just swap it around to the other side real quick, snug that sucker back down, and we'll be done with that. So let's try to go ahead and get this one. Sometimes it don't come out easy on the first time. Sometimes you got to hit it with a torch. Sometimes you just got to beat the hell out of it, but hopefully we'll get lucky. All right, looks like we got real lucky. I didn't even have to fight that. So that's almost finger loose. So I'm gonna set the camera down and go ahead and pull that pin out and swap it around. Okay, I'm not sure if you can see that pin. It's kind of dark. I'm gonna shine the flashlight on it, but it's right here. We just need to flip that around to the other side. Let's try to get that off real quick. All right, now that we've got that swapped around, you can see what I'm talking about. See how it's round there? And this sits right in there just like it's supposed to. All right, let's jump over to the other side and pull out that pin and get that one set up. All right, guys, we are kicking butt. We have almost got this job knocked out already. Not a very hard job to do. So let's see. I went ahead and took off the bump stops. We need those out of the way. While we've got those out of the way, let's go ahead and mark where our notches are gonna go. So what I'm gonna do, okay, what I do is where the bump stop was on the bottom. If you just see these two holes on the side, if you kind of split those in the middle right there, like that, that's about the center of where this thing needs to go. So let me set up the camera. So pretty basic, guys. Like I said, if you'll split this in the middle, you can see there's a hole there that kind of comes right down like that with the center. Get yourself your favorite marker. You're going to want to set this. You're going to want to split this center right here, and you see there's a hole for a bump stop there. So that could be centered up, you know, with that hole there. All right. And then you want to drop this down to where these right here are going to go flush with the bottom of the frame right there. So get yourself all centered up. Okay, you can see where we marked our spot right there now. So now you can take your grinder or plasma cutter or whatever you got and cut out that little chunk right there and straight across on the bottom. And then, man, that's just gonna simply sit right in place. You can bolt it in. I'm gonna weld mine in. So yeah, that's how we're gonna do that. Let's go ahead and get that knocked out. Now, I noticed you guys noticed that I'm in my steel toe work socks here today. Don't be alarmed, these are steel toe work socks. These are also fireproof socks too, so you don't worry about me plasma cutting in these socks. All right, now y'all see we got that piece of metal cut out. I had already placed this up here and drew around it, so that way we had a good, I went ahead and ground that down. That way we had a good spot to weld to. Now that that's in place, you just want to go around on the inside also and grind it down, make sure it's all smooth. And now that thing's going to slap in place like that. Looks like I need to get it down just a little bit more on this edge. Then yeah, we're just going to weld it in place, man, just like that. All right, we've got that notch in, looking good, welded in place. Went ahead and hit it with some black paint too, so that way it can be drying. Looking good. We welded it on the inside. Also, we've just got this side done, haven't done that side yet. As you see, there's some gas lines and some electrical we got to pull out of the way before we cut that stuff. But we did go ahead and put this bottom perch on. We've got it welded in. Looking good, looking good. Let me come on over to the other side. We haven't welded this one in yet. I'll show you what the plan was. All right, so remember your little perch, the hole is going to go towards the front of the truck. Sets on there. So from there, we're going to take it, set it on our axle, and I went ahead and marked it right there with a marker, and we grinded it down so we can weld nice and smooth. All right, and you just want to get that thing and hold it in place till it's locked in place nice and good, and then throw yourself a nice bead of weld on both sides there. Hold that thing in place. We're going to go ahead and weld that in. We'll be done with this part. All we've really got left, main stuff left to do, is go ahead and cut this notch and get that one set in. From there, man, we can start putting this stuff back together, and we're about got this job wrapped up. All right, we got that side welded in place too. Okay, we need to get this side marked up right here. It's going to be the same process as the other one. You got these two holes. That's where the center of your bump stop was. But again, we're going to go off the center one right here. Wipe that. We need to go to the inside and pull all this stuff out of the way and maybe put us a welding blanket and some metal in between there. That way we don't burn that. And we'll get that cut out. Okay, back here with a little update. We got this side notched in, got it all painted, looking good. We've got our perch on that side. So pretty much all we need to do now is just roll this thing back, line up that little that alignment pin with that hole right there, and we just need to get everything twisted back, get this leaf spring back in there, and get these bolts back in on the front. So that's what we're going to do next. All right, we've got both of our notches in, got them painted up, looking good, looking good. We got our perches on the bottom. We went ahead and hit that with some fresh black paint over there, over here. Got both of those painted up, looking good. So now it's time to start putting this crap back together, man. So I've just got a little jack stand right there, holding this thing up so it don't swivel, you know, like that. Just get it held up. And then if you've got yours on a lift or whatever you got going on, I'm going to go ahead and lower this down a little bit, so that way we can start bringing these leaf springs back up, and we're going to try to get these bolts back in. Need to scoot our jack stand forward a little bit, so that way we can get, you want to be over your alignment holes on that leaf spring and that bottom perch. All right, guys, I'm going to jack it slowly. I mean, that sounds weird. We're just going to raise that up slowly until the hole is aligned, and get your bolt back in there. And if it's not aligned this way or that way, you can just kind of rock your axle a little bit forward or backward, and it'll kind of line it up. And we're back in there, man. Boom. We're going to get that in, put that nut on, and we're going to do the same thing to the other side. All right, now we got that leaf spring back in place on both sides. You want to make sure that you're lined up on your hole down here. See how we're flat on that? I noticed a minute ago it was kind of humped up a little bit, and I wasn't aligned all the way. So I just had to shimmy this rear end, and you could hear it pop into place. So now it's time to go ahead and put our U-bolts on. I found out from doing the other side that the stock ones do work, so they will be long enough. I'll show you over here how they go on. Just loop one on this side, loop one on that side, and it came with new bottom plates. You could use your stock plates if you want. I'm going to use the new ones that he provided me. So we'll put those on. There's an alignment hole on it. You want it to go towards the front also. That's how that looks. We're going to get these popped on over here. So you just take this, drop it over, drop it over. Bottom plate's going to have these little things. You want to make sure they're facing down. And this alignment hole is to the front. So it's going to go on like that, and then put your bolts in. Alright, make sure you go underneath and make sure your alignment hole is lined up with that pin right there, and get all those snug down nice and tight. And that's pretty much all we need to do under here. Let's get her lowered back down, hook these brake lines and stuff back up, and man, this job's about done, guys. Alright, let's go ahead and lower this thing down and see how low she went it back. I'm curious to see. I don't remember, but I think it was 20 and a half or 21 and a half. We may have to go back in the video and see. Alright, I got my tape measure. Let's see the difference. So we are at 11 inches right there, man. It was at what, 20 and a half? 20 and a half or 21 and a half? I'll have to go back and look. But right now, we're at 11. So that was quite a drop there, man. That was like 10 or 11 inches drop on that. And then when he puts his bed on and gets the weight, it's going to go down more than that. So yeah, man, what a drop. Some people say 4 to 6 inches. Dude, that was 10 inches drop on that right there. All right, let's get our shocks put back on. That's probably that'll raise us back up a couple more inches like that. I'm going back with the original shocks. You guys can use whatever you want, but the original shocks will work back in its place for now. All right, we've got our shocks back on there, and that did raise us up a little bit. So where were we at? What, like 11, I think, or 10? Now we're up to 13. That brought us up to 13 right there. So and you can get different shocks, you know, they'll let you go up or down more. But with the stock ones back on, 13's where we're at. So not much left to do, man. Let's jump on this thing, make sure nothing's binded up, make sure everything's good. Looks good. Okay, all that's left, hook our brake lines back up, tuck up all those gas lines and electrical lines. All right, boom, axle flip is done, guys. Pretty easy process. You've seen, that took us what, about 10-15 minutes. Got it all back together. She's looking good. Man, I hope that helped you if you guys need to do an axle flip on your vehicle, or if you're just bored and want something to watch, man. Hope that entertained you, or I hope it helped you. So if it did, either way, hit that thumbs up button. If it didn't, hit that thumbs down button. Thanks for watching the video. We'll see you next time.